This morning, a woman who definitely does not wait in line, but she does go to the head of the line, the head of the class, for fighting for kids in Lennox. She's on the school board. She's been there for 8 years, and I have watched her over these 8 years do tremendous things in the Lennox School District. She's up for re-election, and I'm here to talk with her and tell everybody why they need to support her. Marisol Cruz in the house. Buenos dias, hermana. Good morning.
Good morning. Muy buenos días, Josefa.
It's so good to have you here again. I can't believe that 4 years have passed so fast.
So fast. Time passes, but the fight continues.
The fight will always continue. And I tell you what, you are one of the few people that I know personally. I know a lot of political officials, but I know you personally. And I have watched you stand in the rain, stand in the cold, go barefoot if you have to go walk to fight for something for our kids. And I have seen you fight. You have put up such a tremendous fight. When you actually started on the school board 8 years ago, life was great 8 years ago, but we all know that the crash that happened, everything was affected in the crash of 2007, right around 2008 is when it all really went down and everybody lost. So, funding from this and that and the other, but you guys still managed, your school board with you in there, still managed to fight for the kids of Lennox, to fight for programs. I've been involved in several art programs that have come through there, just tremendous, amazing programs in Lennox, and you guys managed to survive and thrive. Survive and thrive. That is what you've managed to do serving on this board and for the Lennox School District.
That's right. We are a resilient community. We surpass any challenge that comes our way, and even this economic crash that happened that really affected the world of education. I am very proud to say that we were able to maintain financial stability. To this day, we hold in the South Bay the smallest class size, 20 students to one teacher.
Wow, and that's almost unheard of now in these public schools.
Exactly. Not only that, we were able to maintain quality education by maintaining our teachers as well. In the whole pink slip mass laying off of teachers, we were able to retain them. Retain our teachers, retain our staff. There was really no one laid off. We were able to give an incentive for early retirement so we could give back to the classroom and cut away from the classroom. And we are very proud to say that we held it strong. And to this day, we have a balanced budget, projecting healthy out 3 years.
Very, very, very nice. And when people hear early retirement, sometimes they think, oh, you're forcing people out. But when you talk to people in the Midwest, maybe it's a West Coast thing. When I talk to people in the Midwest, I talk to firemen or police officers, and you hear these guys that reach like 48, and they say, oh, I'm retiring. Say, what? Why aren't you staying on? And like my own brother, it's a perfect example. He's captain of the fire department. He was a paramedic and in a special team for chemicals and stuff with fire. And he says, I'm retiring. I said, well, why would you want to retire? You still have plenty of years to work. He said, if I don't retire, the guys coming up behind me can't move up.
Exactly.
And I thought to myself, wow. And he goes, we all feel that way. And if more people had that sense of commitment to the progression that needs to happen, when you've reached your pinnacle, find something else that you can do. So if you still need to make a living, and retire and let the person coming up behind you come up.
Yeah, and we have excellent teachers. We have a lot of teachers that are new in the seniority list, but it's like doing the skip criteria. We don't have to. As soon as the people that retired took the incentive and left, it's really for the betterment of the organization. We were able to maintain all our teachers without firing anyone, and they left happy. They have left a legacy, and we cherish, and we always remember. We have programs that are excelling, and we give credit to where credit is due.
Right.
The good people that came with us are still with us. We never forget what has been done for our children, and we want to maintain that quality education in Lennox.
Well, now it might be fun maybe during special programs like Black History Month, Hispanic Heritage Month, things like that, to bring some of those retired teachers back to do fun things in the school with the kids.
Teachers, administrators, classified, you name it. We take care of our people here in Lennox.
Now, talk to me about, there was this whole big controversy that a lot of school districts saw where there was an organization, I'm not even going to mention them because I don't want to give them promotion, where they come into districts, pretend to be parents of that district, and then try to turn public schools into charter schools. Talk to me a little bit about how that happens.
These are nonprofits, and they go based on the trigger law, where they could overturn a school that it's under program improvement for several years into a charter school, and or get rid of the principal, and or just get rid of the whole staff. So we...
Wait, who gives them the authority to do this?
They start signing petitions. As long as they get 51% of the parents to sign on, they have the power to move forward.
So literally, I could go into a school district and rile up the parents and say, this is all bad, it's happening, and I have a better solution. We're going to turn this into a charter school, and as long as I got 51% of the parents to sign on, I could go in and disrupt this whole school.
Correct.
That's ridiculous.
Well, there's a trigger law, and there's ways of doing things. For example, I was the first parent to be elected on the school board, and now I am very proud to say that we are 5 parents.
Nice. So at least the school board is actually made up of parents.
That's right.
Of the kids who go in the school.
That is correct. Every single decision we make, the political is personal, the personal is political. Every single decision we make hits home. And to me, going different routes other than going directly with us, the board, the community, the elected officials of Lennox, to make things happen, it's not as productive as to talking directly and collaborating with us.
Why don't they just come, why not as an organization come to the school board and say, hey, we're looking from the outside in, and this is what we see. How can we work together to make this change? Maybe the best solution might be a charter school, but maybe it isn't. But why aren't they working together with the school boards?
We have, Josefa. We were able to, we listen, not only to this nonprofit, but to many stakeholders in the community, because this is what we do, and especially me.
That's what a school board is for.
Exactly. We listen to all stakeholders. Once you listen to the issue on different perspectives, then you come to a consensus. You come to a decision, and of course, majority of the board rules.
Right.
And that being said, we have been able to collaborate. Instead of being very destructive, we became very constructive. But that in itself, to me, it's respecting what has been done in the community. I come from a grassroots movement that started 10 years ago, Padres Unidos de Lennox. It was created by the community from parents because at that time they were taking away Spanish. And now we have a dual language program from those efforts because we value our language, we value our roots and our identity. And now, 10 years forward, here we are. We have 5 parents on the board. The community is aware of what the school district does and who we are as elected officials, as individual board members, and that's excellent. This is democracy in the making. A community that hasn't been able to be as involved in civic engagement, now they are to the teeth, and I love it. It is beautiful. Supporting me or not, it doesn't matter.
Right.
What really matters is that they are engaged.
Right, that the community is engaged. I've come to some of the events there, and parents are really involved and participate and are passionate about the education, because I think that because there are 5 parents sitting on the board, they realize you've taught them that they have a voice and how to exercise that voice.
Exactly. And sharing the power with my community is what I love to do. For example, with the arts, I'm a big-time advocate when it comes to the arts. Being the chair of the Lennox Arts and Culture Committee, the youth has taken a front row seat, leading many of the efforts in the community through arts and cultural events. And this wouldn't be possible if I wasn't able to leverage my position on the school board.
Right.
By including the arts and the culture with the new leadership emerging with the youth. And this has been very successful.
So a lot of times I have found that when you tend to be a voice for the people and work very hard and hold people to task and say, okay, well, this is your job and this is what you need to be doing, and watch over things like that, can sometimes cause people to not like you, especially people who think they have power or want to have power or have some power. It can kind of make people get angry when you go, hey, aren't you supposed to dot your I's and cross your T's? And they're just putting a comma on the sentence to make it very basic. Then they get mad. Well, what do you mean? Why are you telling me to dot my I's and cross my T's? And so, well, I'm telling you that because I'm on the school board, and that's what you're supposed to be doing. So sometimes when you are as honorable as I know you to be, and a fighter for the parents and the students and the community, it can make people angry because you won't let them cut corners.
Yes, accountability I take it to the heart. Our community has suffered enough. And under my watch, I take my responsibility to a second power.
Yeah.
As in, what was done to my generation will not happen to the generation of my children.
Right.
And this means that you will hold everyone accountable for their responsibilities, for what they signed up for, beginning with myself. Right now, being an elected official and up for re-election, right now is my evaluation. Right now, what is the will of the people? Do you want me to continue on the school board or not? Either way, I respect. I am here to serve and to do my job, and that means that the people that are within the Lennox School District organization need to be aware that there is a community out there that needs to be taken care of through quality education. And that means that every single one of us, como dicen, manos a la obra, all hands on deck, and everyone doing the responsibility, there wouldn't be a problem. But that means that we need to hold each other accountable from the bottom up and top down throughout the whole organization to assure that our children are receiving the best possible quality public education.
Well, sometimes I know I have seen that when people get into a position, especially a political one or one of quote unquote power, they can be swayed to, well, come over here and do this for me. Because you can say yes, and I'll give you this if you say this, and or I'll help you with this if you do this for me. Or sometimes people just get into power and think, oh, well, I'm elected, I don't have to worry about it for 4 years, so I'm just going to kick back and not really do what I'm supposed to do. And I can tell you that that's one of the things that I know for sure about you, and that is you take your job very, very seriously. You are a fighter for the community, a fighter for kids, a fighter for the best quality education for our community and the community of Lennox. And anybody who says that you're not is a liar. And I can say that because I know how hard you work and what you've sacrificed. You could be doing so many other things. You're very well educated, and you could be doing so much more, working at a corporation, making lots of money. But you choose to do this work because it's so ingrained in what you are, and making sure that the generations to come have what they need. So I give you tremendous accolades for that, for the sacrifices that you make to make sure that your children and the generations after them have a groundwork and a framework that you have built, and hopefully will continue to build for the next 4 years, so that Lennox can move forward the way it needs to move forward, with strength and purpose and direction for the community, by the community, and with the community. Because I know that you're one of those people, even if somebody said, you know what, I can't live up to my obligations, you'd sit down with that person and say, okay, what can't you do? Maybe I can help.
That's right. I do everything for the love of my community, because within that community is my family, my children, and the family next to that one. It's really, somos familia. Lennox has, let's just say, we don't have corporations, we don't have anything to really come up with a lot of revenue. We're not even a city, but we have a lot of love for our families. And we are hardworking people. And really the ultimate vision is to break the cycles of poverty. With quality education, when you get to higher education, you have...
Well, you yourself have gone on to higher education, being a college graduate, and you know what it's done for you. Every child should have that opportunity.
Exactly. If we're in this country, in the country of opportunities, and if you have the education to back it up, you are able to perceive those opportunities and go for it. You're able to be prepared for those opportunities and excel, not only for yourself, but your family and a whole community that really needs to come up, because poverty has so many symptoms of violence, of drugs, of dysfunctionality, and that in Lennox cannot be the case. And to me, education is the ultimate equalizer. That is the medicine. This is what we need as a community. We need to excel academically, so we could excel
personally and professionally.
That's right.
And as a community.
Yes.
Education is the key, and I know that is the cornerstone of what you stand for, is the very best education, quality of education, organization of education for our kids and for the community as a whole, because I know that there are a lot of adult programs that also run through, and I commend you and the board for what you've been able to do, and I really hope that on Tuesday people get out and re-elect you, because you need to be there. Lennox needs you. And that's not just from a personal opinion, that is from my professional opinion of what I've watched you do over the last 8 years, and what I really hope that the city of Lennox allows you to do for 4 more years, because you are the perfect example of what a school board member should be. It's a representative of the community, because you are a parent, You live there, you breathe it, you walk it, you talk it, and you sacrifice for it on a daily basis. If I could vote in Lennox, I would, but I don't live in Lennox, so I can't. I'm a few miles away from you. But I absolutely hope that people see the vision of what you have, hear the passion of who you are, and get to the polls on Tuesday and vote what you think is best.
On November 5th.
So thank you for being here today, Hermana. Congratulations on 8 years of service on the board, and I hope you have 4 more.
Gracias, Josefa.
And where can people go for more information?
They could go to my website, marisolcruz.com.
All right, and I'll make sure that website is up on my webpage at hot923.com. Keyword Josefa, marisolcruz.com. Hermana, good luck on Tuesday, and make sure you give me a call and let me know how everything works out.
Gracias, hermana. Gracias, Josefa.
A dear friend back in the house to talk about an upcoming